Hey guys, Poro here with another Worlds 2025 daily recap, this time for Team Secret Whales vs MKOI and Top Esports vs Gen.G. The first series will determine who the third team knocked out of Worlds will be, and the second series determines who qualifies to quarterfinals. I'll be going with the 5-point system today with half points to make things make more sense visually. We'll see how that goes. Hopping in to mention that I did my Secret Whales vs MKOI Game 1 commentary in real time, and I referred to the points as out of 10, so I guess it'll take me a little while to get used to the change. Sorry about that, but either way, let's get right into that first match. Alright, Secret Whales actually won game 1. I don't really like what Coach Null cooked up. I think that the draft was kinda terrible. I mean, like, this looks like such a turbo Trundle angle. Like, the Trundle, he can ult the Galio and the Scion. Like, Trundle should be unkillable. And then you have Braum into 4 melees. Like, I don't know, it just seems, like, so difficult. And then on Secret Whales, it's, like, the only damage that they have for mid-game fights, really, is the Yunara. So it's, like, so many things had to go right for this comp to work. And then it looked like it was gonna be terrible because, okay, so what happened was that it was, like, level 4. Jungle and mid were level 4. And Histo and Dire decided to go for a 2v2 mid lane. Even though they had a massive health disadvantage, they went for the 2v2 mid lane because they saw that the Orianna had no mana, and so they thought they could win. But then, it's fucking Trundle, so the Trundle just turned around and killed them both. So, like, that's, like, the worst start ever to the game possible. So I thought that they were just gonna roll over and lose, but then, luckily for me, I forgot that MKOI are MKOI, and MKOI will always throw the game, always. So they stanced up at first Drake, and they just started it with relatively no setup, and then Secret Whales walked in and killed people, and then the Yunara was super accelerated, and then the Corki started running it down, so we take those. Like, literally, Suba just started sprinting it, so yeah, now we just have a Yunara who's up like 3k gold. Life is good. It actually looks like Secret Whales is gonna win. The main problem is that Secret Whales, they are also the tragedy team. Like, something will always go wrong when they're playing. So I was, like, super on edge the entire time. Secret Whales actually almost threw a couple of times. Like, there was 1 or 2 engages that Taki went for that were just straight up bad. Like, there was one play where Taki got caught out, and then he died, and it looked like everybody was gonna die, but then luckily the Mbessa ult didn't hit any of the actual carries, and so they couldn't get any more than, like, 2 kills. And then there was the Otacon situation that was kind of dicey, but they managed to get the Otacon, and then Taki, like, flashes in, terrible engage, he dies. It's like, I was panicking a little bit, like, I was kind of freaking out a little bit. Like, MKOI actually pulled it all the way back within maybe a 2k gold lead, but then Taki, he made up for his past failures. He found a really nice pick on Jojo. He found a nice flank on Jojo on the Soul Dragon fight, and they were able to kill him, and then they were able to win the game from there with the Soul and the Baron. So that's cool. Speaking of which, Jojo actually played a very, very good game in my opinion. He was outlaning the shit out of Dire, so, like, Jojo was a far superior mid laner in this game, at least. So big ups to Jojo for the lane phase, and then he also hit some really massive shockwaves. Like, in all of the fights that Secret Whales quote-unquote threw, like, in a normal world, if Secret Whales goes for a fight that looks bad, they probably just win anyway, right? Because they have a Yunara who's up 3k gold and a Jarvan who's up like 1k or 2k gold or something, so they would normally just win anyway because wallet diff. But then the Orianna found multiple good shockwaves, so he was able to keep them in the game that way. Everybody else on his team, absolute dumpster fire. Merwin, I mean, he got caught out once. It was bad. It was on, like, a top play. The Jarvan caught him out. Elioya, he was 2-0 on Trundle into a Galio Scion, and he still managed to find a way to lose, so, that's fine. Supa was running it down. One of the worst games I've seen this tournament so far. Alvaro was also kind of running it down a bit. He was not useful in the Braum, even though this should be a really easy Braum game, and he died a couple of times that he probably shouldn't have. On the other side, I mean, like, I was really skeptical about Pun coming in. Pun has been a player who is prone to getting gapped in lane pretty hard domestically. Like, he's consistent, he can play tanks and do his job, but, like, he can't win lanes, he's not, like, a huge X factor or anything, so I was a little bit worried about him coming in, but he did really well. He ended up dodging, like, 2 different dives. Like, he played out the weak side really well, even though he did go down in lane. Even though he lost lane, he was playing out the weak side well. He did his job in fights, so happy that went well. His toe was playing out of his mind. I mean, like, normally I would probably give him an 8 for this type of game, but he did low-key kind of run it down and probably lose the entire game at level 4, and then it was just that MKOI were too bad to close it out anyway, so, I'm giving his to a 7. Dire, we give a 4. Dire was, he was also part of the Inting duo level 4, and then he was just getting destroyed on lane. He had basically no pressure in the game individually, like on side or anything, so not a good game from Dire. I really do. Okay, domestically, Dire he's like a hyphy player. Like, he wants to make big moments happen on flashy champions. Like, he wants to play stuff like, Ahri. I want him to have more confidence and pick some like shit that he can do stuff on. Like, he's only played Aurora and Galio at this tournament so far. Like, I get that you're not playing well, and so you probably want to fall back to some of the more facilitating low resource champions, but like, come on, get some confidence. Like, you can carry, you're a good mid laner, I know you got it in you. Like, I would love to see Secret Whales like whip out a Vi Ahri or something in game 2. Eddie, very good game. His scoreline was really good, so people might be confused as to why I only gave him a 6. It's because I feel like there were a lot of different situations where he just took way too much damage. Like, I feel like there were a lot of moments where he was positioned too far up, and then, you know, he gets hit by a big quirky rocket and a Q, and then he's just starting the fight at half health, and it just makes things look really awkward. Like, surely there, if you have a 3k gold lead on Yunara, surely there's a way that you can close it out cleaner than what Eddie was doing. And then Taki gets the 5 because he was kind of running it down a little bit, but then he also found the big play on JoJo on the soul fight. So yeah, really nice game from Secret Whales. Really glad that they won. I have faith that they can close out the series, but I also know my team really well, and I know that there is a chance that they completely collapse. Like, I would not be surprised if they do some dumb shit like go up 5k gold in game 2 and then just find a way to lose anyway. So really crossing my fingers that they can get this across the finish line, but good first game. Game 2 was not so great from the side of Secret Whales. The early game actually went really well with a nice bot dive and solid early skirmishes due to his Toast playmaking, and they ended up with the 3-4k gold lead with every objective. However, the game slowly unraveled for them. Around the 22-minute mark, Histo went for a flash knockup on Kiana, and MKOI completely turned the fight around with a great Cassiopeia ult, and from there it felt like Secret Whales had no grasp of how to play the map. This is how it can go with Secret Whales sometimes. They play around objectives pretty badly, even worse than CFO, who are no objective demons themselves. Even with both Caitlyn and Renekton having large leads, it felt like at certain points the team stopped playing around either. Part of the problem was Dire getting super gapped by JoJo for the second game in a row. The matchup is super difficult obviously, but being down 1.5k individual gold through early game is a pretty bad look regardless. MKOI were not clean to close it out themselves, even though they got Baron, Alvaro, and Alyoya into the ensuing push and ended up wasting the buff, and it took MKOI a second Baron before they could finally end the game. Neither of these teams are good past early game, but it feels like MKOI is definitely better at that stage of the game, which makes me worried for Secret Whales in game 3. I still want Dire to pick a champion he's actually comfortable on. It feels like he's too worried about too many things. I haven't particularly liked how Secret Whales drafted in either game, although I've low-key hated all of their drafts all year, so this is nothing new from Coach Null. Please Null, I beg you, give us a playable team comp one time. I'll sell my soul for it, I don't care. Momentum honestly seems to be in MKOI's favor, but it would make me really happy if I was wrong. Game 3 was basically just Game 2 all over again. Secret Whales' early game was pretty solid as a whole. They had Feats, Grubs, and Herald. Hero was completely running it down on the Jace though. He was a pretty good Jace player domestically, but it felt like he choked it super hard this time. For those of you who are unaware, this is a classic Hero moment. Historically, he always has disaster games in the biggest moments, and it's been his Achilles heel for years. I think the idea to bring in Hero to play Jace is good, but the coin landed tails this time for sure. Secret Whales decided to send the entire game at the 17-minute mark. Taki was egoing extremely hard trying to pressure a choke point, and he was collapsed on and killed. However, Secret Whales thought they saw an angle to one-shot with the Vi Aurora Kai'Sa combo, and they went for it, only to fail to one-shot and get wiped. After this, the game was pretty much impossible. Histo kept trying to make plays, and he found good picks on Supa and JoJo, but it wasn't nearly enough as MKOI were able to close it out anyway. It's so sad seeing Secret Whales go out like this. In my opinion, they had strong game states in all 3 games, but just didn't know how to navigate mid-game and close it out. This was their problem all year domestically, and it bit them in the ass in the end. Hero, Dire, and Taki all had pretty weak tournaments across the board to be honest. I kind of expected it from all 3 with how inconsistent they could be domestically, but I was really hoping Dire would have at least one pop-off game the way I know he can. I really hope this 5-man unit sticks together next year. I don't want to see them replace anyone. They have loads of potential and just need to figure out their objective setups and map movements better. As for MKOI, they really need to figure out their shit still. Their throw in game 1 is super problematic and is indicative of how they looked earlier in the tournament as well, and realistically, 4 members underperformed on the team. JoJo was fantastic this series. He won all 3 lanes extremely hard and was super effective in team fights. If MKOI had a different LEC mid laner, they probably don't win this. I would be pretty surprised if they win their 2-2 match at this rate. Game 1 of Top Esports vs Gen G was a complete stomp. Top Esports are the actual worst team to watch ever, I think. I don't know how they collapsed so fucking unbelievably hard at every single international. It's genuinely ridiculous. I'll get Gen G out of the way first. They played well, but didn't need to do anything special to win this one. I refuse any notion that Gen G's players smurfed this or that they had a great game or anything. Ruler had solid mechanics all game, and Chovy and Keen played the teamfight super well, we can respect that. What really happened is that Top Esports ran it the fuck down. They started off with a massive bot side lead due to a dive that set Ruler down 600 gold at 5 minutes. Then, Hong and Jackie Love decided to all-in the Braum and full Summoner's Lucian, and they lost the 2v2 straight up. Such a stupid way to play out the lane, I was genuinely flabbergasted. Then how about we do everything we can to make it worse? Hong has 0 good flashes this game. His other flashes were either flashing away and being useless, or flashing forward when there was 0 follow-up and the most underwhelming engage ever. I cannot believe the fact that Hong had literally 0 even net neutral flashes. All of his flashes were anywhere from garbage to game losing. Cream completely shat his pants too. He played quite possibly the ugliest Aurora teamfight I've ever seen in pro play on the Herald Crash. Even 369 wasn't immune from playing badly this time. He laned pretty horribly against the Rek'Sai. There was literally a moment where he decided to Q Rek'Sai instead of going for a cannon, and he legit just missed cannon under turret. Like, what? I'm actually crying, man. Everyone except for Kanavi completely crumbled in this game, and it looked like a bottom tier LCS team or something. I can't even say Gen G played the game out perfectly for what they had. Canyon completely into the bot dive and gave over a shutdown for fun, but luckily for him, Hong straight up forgot the rocket belt recipe and had a fuck-ass random Kindle gem in his inventory, so the shutdown meant nothing. They played a pretty bad Drake fight where they walked into a 3-man Nico ult to go 2 for 2, so it wasn't even that clean across the board or anything. But regardless, top esports are so clearly not capable of winning internationally when there's any pressure at all, and I fully expect them to do nothing and lose the next game. This series was such a joke. I don't even want to talk about what I just watched. Top esports is so disgusting at internationals. I get that Gen G is the best team in the world or whatever, but what the fuck is this game, man? Gen G literally inted. I almost didn't even want to score them this high, but I'm certain if I drop them any lower, I'll get mega flamed for it. But genuinely, Gen G did not play this early game out well at all. Look at this mid play. Chovy teleports in pre-6 and gets his entire face blown off by Azir, with Kanavi and Hong being able to move, but somehow Top esports play the actual worst sequence I have ever witnessed. Kanavi walks in, misses a Q smite on Big Wolf, so okay, whatever, and then Chovy is 200 HP and zoned off the wave and can't even get XP, but Kanavi throws his Q and misses, which allows Chovy to walk back, and then Hong decides to up and leave, and then Chovy ints by overstaying for the next wave, and then Kanavi charges another empowered Q and misses, and Cream ends up dying. If I'm Cream, I'm actually screaming at my jungler because this was so insane to watch live. Kanavi has flashed the entire time, by the way. He clicked his buttons in the only way possible for this Yone to ever get an advantage. Oh, and this doesn't even include the fact that Yone should have died 2 more times on side lane. The first one, I'll give him credit for a solid Q buffer on the Leona CC, but if Leona comboed her spells right, then it shouldn't matter anyway. The second one is inexcusable. Chovy is inting here. He is guaranteed dead. Except Kanavi ults in the literal worst way possible, so Chovy gets out. Like, why are we ulting the fucking Yone-E tether location instead of behind him? There's literally no downside to ulting closer to tower. It's so unserious. And then you have the team screwing up plays too. Look at this top dive. Pantheon has ult, but we're committing under a turret with no minions to dive a rumble, and Ornn dies for free, and Chovy better thank his lucky stars Duro played this the way he did, because if not, then Yone dies instantly too instead of getting dove later. Then look at this top lane fight. Look at Kanavi here. Watch his flash at the end of the fight. Nobody on Gen G is even under 1000 health except for the 900 HP Rakan, and he's flashing forward with no passive stacks or anything. And then Gen G isn't even playing out their lead cleanly. Both Keen and Canyon legit killed themselves in the fight after 3rd Drake. There's no other explanation for it. They both went in and died for no reason, and even got ruler killed, which gave over a fat shutdown. It's not like top esports can win from this point anyway, but it's still not pretty. Then after that, Duro and Chovy go for this wild 2v3 attempt where if Cream flashes in literally any other direction, then Gen G straight up get aced. I really don't want to give Chovy a 6 for this game. I'll do it anyway because he had multiple teamfights where he played it super well, but the sheer amount of mistakes Gen G made in this one was eclipsed only by the fact that everyone on top esports was so stupidly mental gapped that they forgot how to play the game. Here's the series score. Do with this information what you want because I sure as hell don't want anything to do with it. I don't even know why I get so mad watching top esports play. We all know they'll choke. I said it maybe 5 or 6 times in my pre-Worlds breakdowns that top esports will be a huge disappointment and to expect absolutely nothing. Somehow though, I still get angry watching this team collapse in real time every year. They shit on IG, they shit on AL, they honestly shit on BLG in upper bracket finals too before they just lost to themselves, and yet barely a few weeks later they look like they couldn't even place top 2 in a western region. Let's move on to predictions for tomorrow. I have 2 quick sweeps, BLG 2-0 VKS and T1 2-0 100 Thieves. I shouldn't really have to explain these scorelines, although I do think there's a slight chance BLG could commit some horrible crimes tomorrow purely based on how badly they've been playing as well. If BLG lost to VKS, it would be the funniest timeline ever. Imagine if only one LPL team makes top 8. That sounds hilarious to me, and at this point I'm all for it. That's all I have for you for this one. I recently started a Patreon for people who want to support me more while I'm making these videos. I have 3 tiers, each with varying amounts of benefits including different types of behind the scenes content, and even a custom Poro drawing that I'll display in video outros. If that interests you, check out the Patreon link in the description. I'll see you all for the next one. Bye!